Danny Vegas time, Danny Vegas world. Lisa, help me out. Segment 3. There you go. There you go.
Uno, dos, tres.
Yes. Sometimes we do it in different languages. Sometimes.
Not today.
Not today.
Yeah.
Segment 3 in the, like I said, it's a 5-minute hour that I coined myself. So anyway.
And then during the break, we said the 5-minute break is like the reverse of the 5-minute hour.
No, it takes forever for those commercials to run. But those are all my sponsors, so take
We
care
love our sponsors.
We love our sponsors. So, all right, Lisa, we had all the fun. Segment 1, we talked about the Nabo and the Kiwanis and all that other stuff. And then you corrected me that I said your name wrong. So
what is it, Danny? How do you say it? Thank you.
It's Bybee, not Bybee.
Thank you.
Bybee. Lisa Bybee Ferrell.
There you go. Well done.
Hashtag one lucky gal. Okay, but today we're in segment 3, and this is where we're going to get into the meat and potatoes. Now, let me tell you a story. You at one point had a podcast with Jesse, and it came on
Conversations.
It came on about 5 o'clock in the evening time, and
on Thursday.
On Thursdays, and I would be on my computer at home working, and I would see a post on Facebook, come and watch live, and I would go, and I usually watch the show, and he did a lot of work with Will Edwards. I'm a super big fan of Will Edwards.
Yes, great man.
Love that guy.
Yes.
And so on one time you were just talking, and I was sitting there working, and you got into something where I literally couldn't believe it. Now let me explain, because
yes.
I know you and Jesse as this power couple who help people and just do wondrous things and take people out of nosedives and just do great stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we are lucky to have you.
You don't have to be in a nosedive. You can be successful in a company as well.
You can do anything. You guys. So anything of that nature. And then you came with the story about your past, where. And we're going to get into that. Where, in all fairness, you were ready to cash it in, and you were suicidal.
Yes.
I just pretty much dropped on the floor when I heard that. So I kind of
you and my mother both.
Yeah, I was shocked that at one point in your life you were thinking about that. So and then what was so funny was I thought, oh yeah, okay, that must have been what. 40 years ago, back where, before all this greatness. No. It was like a couple of years ago.
Yeah. It was when I retired from corporate, which was in January of 2013. And my life at that time, I was an empty nester. My son had left for college in August, and Jesse and I were just moving in together.
Right. That relationship was fairly new.
No, we had been seeing each other for a while, but lived in separate households because I wanted to get the kids up and out of the house before we joined, and complicated things.
Cohabitation.
That, yes.
Yes.
So I'm working, and I'm not happy. I'm miserable. I'm going to the doctor. I'm telling him all my symptoms. I'm not feeling good, and they throw another drug at it, another drug at it. I was on 8 different medications. I woke up one day and I said, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this job. I can't pretend that I'm happy. I'm not happy. I wrote my letter of resignation, and I resigned that day from 36 years in broadcasting and 6 weeks of going from hero to zero overnight, which was my problem because my signature was attached to my job.
Right.
So if you don't really have that bridge built well before you get to the other side, you can crash, and you can crash hard. I was on antidepressants, I was on pain pills, I was on birth control, Motrin. I mean, there were 8 different things that I was on.
Goodness gracious, that's a cocktail.
It was a big cocktail.
Right.
So what got me so scared was that I couldn't laugh and I couldn't cry. I couldn't sleep. And Jesse asked me one simple question one day, and I broke down, hit the floor, and realized how bad off that I was.
Right. Now, did Jesse, knowing how significant others are, did he blame himself? Why are you not happy? Is it my fault? What am I not doing right?
No, because I went to a doctor to tell them that I wanted to get off these drugs.
Right.
That doctor wrote on a little sticky note this size, a 6-week weaning program to get off 8 different drugs.
Right.
I had tried getting off those drugs myself. I didn't tell anybody.
Right.
Because I just want to do this myself.
Right.
And when it failed, and that's what got me into the whirlwind spin of I want to die, was because you don't just kind of cold turkey that many drugs like this doctor had told me to do. So I went to Jesse and I said, I'm really scared. I feel like I'm dying. I think I would rather be dead than alive with the way I feel. And he's like, whoa, let's figure this out. He typed a spreadsheet with a weaning schedule that was 12 weeks long.
Right.
Working in tandem with a nutritional scientist,
Right.
Paul Grady, which thank you very much, because between these two guys, they both saved my life. And I highly, highly recommend, if you're on a medication, get off the medication. That's a whole nother show.
That is a whole nother
That's
show.
a whole nother show. But between $500 worth of vitamins 3 times a day and weaning off of the drugs, 12 weeks later, I felt like I was born again and was actually a living person that could live, when I never thought I could be pulled out of the gutter and back to baseline.
And you know what's interesting, and again, when I heard that, and you talked about, hey, you went through a depression after the 20-year marriage went away, and I don't know if they were all kind of linked up, and that went away, and the career went away, and then the drugs, the drugs that the doctors were giving you were on board, and it was just amazing to me that if it could happen to you, Lisa, it could happen to anybody.
Absolutely, and it happens more and more and more every day because of the Obama health care plan, and because the doctors get spiffed more on prescribing the drugs to people.
Okay, you probably know more about that than I do.
Back in the radio days, they used to spiff DJs to play the songs. They're spiffing doctors to put those drugs in your body. That's what they get paid to do. They throw something at it. Oh, you're having this symptom? Oh, you're depressed? You're on 10 milligrams of Lexapro? Let's up it to 20. Do you know how hard it was just to come off of 10 milligrams of Lexapro?
That's a show.
Oh, I'm telling you, we could do the whole show on that.
We could do the whole show. And do you consider yourself, we have this little goofy hashtag, one lucky gal. Do you consider yourself one lucky gal?
Absolutely. Every day I wake up breathing and I'm alive is a blessed day.
It is, because I see what you and Jesse do. And like I said, you don't just help people that are crashing in the mountains. You help really fine-tweak businesses and people that are successful to make them better.
CEOs, the leaders of the companies is our sweet spot.
Yeah.
Because if we can affect one person at the top, it trickles down and you can affect many lives.
Everybody. But it's kind of interesting because and I learn something every day. I literally thought you were going through this years ago. Come on,
Yeah.
But it was just a few years ago, and I think I've known you that long.
I know.
You were probably going through this when we were sitting there at some
I'm sitting next to you.
Sitting next to me.
At the old Sahara. Where was it? It wasn't SLS at the time.
It wasn't SLS. It was probably the Sahara, some event you and Jesse came to. And this was probably going on, and you were keeping it secret from Jesse?
I have a really good cover.
Right.
I have poker face. And 18 years in sales and marketing, you get a poker face, it's people can't figure you out.
You only got a minute left. How surprised was Jesse? Or was he kind of like, I knew something was wrong?
You know what? He knew something was wrong when he asked me a question, and I just broke down and started crying. And he's like, "This was a simple question."
What was the question?
We had a plan for me to transition into his business, into our business.
Right.
And when he asked me to recite what the 4 pages were of the business plan, I crashed because I couldn't remember. And that's when I was goofy, completely goofy, lost it.
And he must have just like, oh boy. But you know what? Good man. He's still here.
What better hands to be in?
Oh my goodness gracious! Because do you think, we only got 30 seconds left, like, man, this guy could have just split. He probably like, oh my goodness gracious, I am out of here.
Especially just 5-6 months into living together. Yeah, that was all very, very scary.
Yeah. Well,
very.
You know what? We are blessed that both of you did what you had to do, because I'm telling you, this woman is another angel on earth. And we're going to get into the business part in segment 4 right after this.